In this video, we're going to go over the pink section, which is the filter. So when you play your guitar really hard, that is a bright sound or an intense sound. And if we play our guitars softly, it's a darker sound, it's not as bright, so it's less intense. And so we usually associate brightness with intensity. For a synth, we accomplish that with a filter. So if the filter's all the way up, it's letting everything through. If I bring it down, you can see that's getting darker. And so what people will sometimes do is in a verse, they'll keep the filter here. And then when a chorus happens, they'll bring it up to sort of mimic that intensity sort of feel. So this is quite an important setting on synth patches. And so there's a few different ways that we can work with it. First of all, there's 3 settings. So the first one is the way I just described it to you. It's basically going to cut the highs. You can also set it to be bandpass, which means it's going to focus on like a certain band, a certain frequency that's going to let go of the highs and the lows. The high pass is going to take away all the lows. So it's kind of opposite. Now I would say low pass is usually what people do. There's times when you want to do either 3 of these, but often if you want to mimic intent, if you want it to be intensity, you would do this section here. So that's pretty common. Character, this is particular to this synth here. We're basically driving the oscillators harder into the filter. So it's kind of subtle. If we want this to change, we can do this, and we can like look at that triangle there. It's going up and down. So it's really similar to these dials here. So you can do that if you want. FM OSC2, that is making this second oscillator drive this filter. It's kind of subtle. So that's changing things, oscillating it. This is, I always forget the name of this. Let me look at the docs really quickly. Resonance. So if you want the point at which this filter is at in terms of EQ to resonate, you can move this up. So let's just hear it for a second. So you see how like there's this narrow sort of like nasally thing going on? So you can do that if you want. I don't do that too often. But the other thing that I find that I do very often is changing the rate at which this filter comes up and down, intensity goes up and down with this section here. And this is exactly the same as ADSR for volume, but instead of controlling volume, we're controlling this filter knob. So for example, if we bring this up, watch this here. So notice how it starts here and then it goes up, and then it instantly goes down. This is similar to your volume going instantly up and instantly down, but instead of for volume, it's for the filter or for intensity. So if we wanted the release to stay around for a while, now if I bring this up, watch this triangle here. So even though the sound is done, the filter is taking a while to come down. So let's bring up the release on our amp as well. So the filter release is following the amp release. Now if I bring the attack up, so now it's not instant, it's slowly going up to its height and then slowly coming down. So now we have both volume, let's bring this up too. We have both volume and intensity going up and down. So that's a common thing you would do. So anyways, that's a quick look at filters.